Hello, fellow traders, investors, and whoever's. Hope you're very well and you've enjoyed your Thursday. Can't say the same about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is making this very difficult for us at the moment. How much longer until we see salvation with a trending move to the upside? Maybe another week. Doesn't look like it's going to happen this week. I did prophesize last week that it'll happen either this week or next week. So I'm hoping that I'll be proven right. Certainly won't be this week, I don't think. Anyway, this is the weekly chart on Bybit here, and you can see so far, with 3.5 days left to go to close Bybit, there is quite a bit less on CME. The price which I would like Bitcoin to achieve, which I don't think is going to happen, is 62.8 by the end of the week, because that would be back above the midpoint in the Bollinger Band. Significance of that is, of course, well, that's the area for which price needs to be if, when volatility expansion comes on the weekly time frame, it's going to be an upward move. But you can see it's not there at the moment. It's in fact below. Now, that price of 62.5 is very similar to the momentum to the price at which the MACD will cross back green and therefore continue to the upside. That's basically at 62.8. So, in the next 3.5 days, Bitcoin's got a lot of work to do. I think the only bit of hopium from all that would be if you took a Fibonacci retracement of this last weekly move, so from the wick low to the wick high, Bitcoin is hovering somewhere between the 0.5 and the 618. The 618 is coming in. It's a fair bit further down. It's at 57.7. So, that's definitely the line in the sand. But the 0.5 is at 59.3. So it's just a bit below where price action is at the moment. So yeah, I think Bitcoin really needs to start moving up from now, really, and not leave it any longer. Okay, let's zoom down to the daily. And you can see the support resistance was broken, obviously to the downside. And it's starting to look like there was a bit of some Bollinger Band narrowing. It's starting to look like there might be a bit of volatility expansion on the daily to the downside. Well, that's not good. The pivot point for crossing below the zero line and flipping momentum on the daily to the downside is right where price is now. So with only, how long to go? 4 hours to go for this daily closure, Bitcoin needs to stay above 59.6, it's right where it is now, to keep the MACD above the zero line, and that for me is momentum to the upside. Well, doesn't look good really. Yeah, so not good at all. If we come down to the 4 hour, you can see yesterday I was talking about volatility expansion potentially happening. Well, it has happened now, and that was on the cards while Bitcoin was living below the midpoint on the Bollinger Band, and that has indeed come to fruition. Now, probably what's more significant than that, well, is it more or not or less? I don't know. Similar significance. There's 4 minutes left to go for this closure of this candle, and it's looking like it's setting up for a lower low. And as I said in yesterday's video on this 4 hour time frame, we have a high, a local high up here. We have a low, which was the one of a sequence of higher lows, going back down to this uptrending move here. Then Bitcoin looked like it was putting in a lower high, but that's only confirmed when price gets below this low, and that's what it looks like it's going to do. So that then becomes a downtrending move on the 4 hour time frame, with momentum definitely to the downside. So this doesn't really add up to very positive price action if you're looking for upside moves on Bitcoin. I think it doesn't mean that it's game over. If you look just from a support resistance point of view, it's probably easiest on the daily time frame without the Bollinger Band on, just to make things a bit clearer. I mean, below 60,000, which Bitcoin is at the moment, so it hasn't closed the daily yet, I would suggest the next support level is about 58. It's probably somewhere between 57 and 58,000. And then, we'll see. Technically, that would still, if it did turn up, so if Bitcoin did continue down and come down towards 57, 58, and then turn back up, that would still be, on the higher time frames, a sequence of higher lows. And you do still have, on the higher time frames, a couple of higher highs, or a high and then a couple of higher highs. So it's still in with a shout, but it's just not making life very easy for us all. And so my ultimate line in the sand now, my line in the sand for more simple price action analysis was definitely 60,000. Looks like that might be breached. Not necessarily, it might be. I think then you're probably looking at 58, 57K. Sorry to be the harbinger of doom. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you have, please like, subscribe, share. Join me on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. And I'll see you tomorrow for Friday, which means CME will be closing. Be interesting to see what it does. Goodbye.